Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Reeve Subaru and we have a special car that we're bringing you. This is a 2019 Aston Martin Vantage. Let's talk a little bit about Aston Martin history. Aston Martin has been around since 1913, if you could believe that. An iconic British brand. So much history when it comes to racing, when it comes to engineering, technology, and definitely luxury. One thing is for sure, this 2019 Vantage has some special technology that may make you raise an eyebrow or two, but it's definitely going to help elevate the performance of this Vantage to unseen levels ever before. What's wonderful is that Aston Martin has won, like I said, many races, including the fabled 24 Hours of Le Mans. Even back in 1959 when they won, you might know of a very famous driver, maybe you heard of him once or twice. Carroll Shelby actually won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in an Aston Martin. With the Vantage, this is their entry-level car, but when I say entry level, don't think base model, because there's a lot that's going on, not only in the outside, but the inside. This, though, is Aston Martin's competitor to go up against the 911, to go up against the Corvette Z06, all those other famous sports cars. This is it when it comes to the Vantage. First time that it featured a V8 was in the year 2000, but now twin turbo fun. But before we get underneath that hood, let's check out the outside of this 2019 Aston Martin Vantage. Right off the bat, what I love about it is that it looks like an Aston Martin, and I'm going to show you some of the design features why that is the way that it is. I love the shape of the headlight housing. It has like a nice oval design to it. Inside, everything blacked out. Very, very interesting way that they set up the LED headlights in there. I really love the overall look of what's going on. As we drop down, no fake vents. You have this massive front splitter that's going to help provide downforce and also scoop up air and bring it into the cooling system. My only zonk for it is that it's all gloss black. I wish that it was carbon fiber, would be a very, very nice touch. I don't know how well the gloss black is going to wear over time, but one thing I want to show you, this is how you identify an Aston Martin. Follow my finger all the way around the shape of the grille. That is iconic, no matter what year you're going to. Go back and look at your copy of Goldfinger, James Bond movie Goldfinger. His DB7 had a actual grille that shaped as well. So that is a way to identify the brand. I like the wire mesh that they have in the grille opening. Another identifier is obviously their logo. Now what's cool about their logo is you have the British racing green. That's a very famous color. Each country back in the day used to have a specific color that if you were from England, your cars were green. Hand painted. This whole emblem is hand painted and hand placed into the front nose cone, not done by robots. It's just nice little touches that you're going to get in an Aston Martin. Now when we get up onto the hood, I really like the body lines, how it flows into the hood. You actually have a very, very light C-shaped section that's raised a little bit, but other than that, everything kind of flows nicely right to the A-pillars. Coming around the bend, check out this wheel and tire setup. So you have these flat gray wheels. Love the design. They're wrapped in P0 tires, Pirellis, ready for your track day. It's a 20-inch wheel. Up front, we have 255. You can see they're using a two-piece rotor. So what I mean by that is if you look at the brake rotor, you see how it's attached, has attachments? That actually separates. So that's going to help dissipate heat a lot better, including these grooves. These grooves actually aren't meant for bringing air into the rotor. They actually help dissipate the heat. And of course, you have these massive 6-piston Brembo calipers. I like the Aston Martin script on them. What's wild, though, is that the tires may be 255 up front. Out back, they're wider, and we'll get to that in a second. But the reason why they do that is to give you quicker steering. Going down the rest of the fender, you can see the hood, how the hood is the actual fender here. Here's the carbon fiber I wanted to see. Nicely done on this functional air intake. Down below, you have a massive, massive, massive side sill extension. It is gloss black. I would like it to be carbon fiber, so I am going to zonk that, but it does look really good. You have the metallic black mirror caps on both sides. Very, very slim and trim with the design. Up top, here's the carbon fiber. We have a nice carbon fiber roof. looks great, especially on this particular Vantage with the paint job. I love the way they have the window. The height of it is so short, and it comes right into that rear quarter window. When you look at door handles, obviously they're flush for aerodynamic purposes, but watch this. I'm gonna open it up. The doors actually open and swivel up, which is a different touch than what a lot of people are used to. But you close it, nice flow coming out to the flared out fenders. And then when we're talking about the rears, like I told you, 20-inch wheels still, 295 on the width. So you have a nice meaty 295 width tire. This is rear wheel drive, and you can see even the rear calipers, massive with the slotted rotors to help dissipate that heat. Get ready for one of my favorite parts, the tail end of the business. You can see how you have a nice duckbill spoiler that kind of pops up. It's all integrated nicely. Very small rear window, but it looks great. We drop down. Check out this diffuser. This is like the mother of all diffusers. You have your twin exhaust outlet, which I wish the exhaust was just a little bit larger. You have the ventilated holes in this material here, and then you have the massive rear diffuser. Now, if you're wondering, well, what are these here for? These kind of look dumb. This is from the Department of Transportation. These little bumperettes are required. I personally wish we could just rip them off because it would look so much cleaner, but I love the flow of the LED taillight. Goes all the way across. You got your Aston Martin and then another hand-painted Aston Martin badge. But why don't we pop the hood and talk about some of the surprises that we're gonna see. All right, guys, here's one of the biggest surprises is underneath the hood. First of all, look at how massive this hood is. You could actually see the tops of the fender wells. Just cool to see that. What I do like though is look at how they integrated the cooling duct in here. So air is gonna come from the front of the car into this duct and then pour on the back, because guess what? What do we have? We have a twin turbo setup. And if you think you've seen this engine before, you have. This is actually from AMG, used in Mercedes products. It's that 4-liter twin turbo V8. So we got a little bit of British engineering and a little bit of German engineering. The great news is you become the winner. 503 horsepower, 505 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60, 3.6 seconds, top speed, 195 miles an hour. The amazing thing is the return on your fuel economy. 18 in the city, 24 in the highway. You could either get this in an 8-speed automatic or 7-speed manual. And then, of course, when it comes to weight, you're looking at 3,373 pounds, and it's got a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. Now, let's talk about that weight distribution for a second. If you're wondering, well, hold on, this is a front engine. How do we have 50-50? Look at how far back that engine is in the frame. It is almost like a front mid-engine because it's behind the front axle. The front axle's here, engine is back there. You can see the massive strut tower brace to stiffen up the front end of the business. This looks like a race car, man. I'm telling you, when I pop the hood on these, I'm just like, But why don't we go ahead, let's get to another part that's probably gonna make you go, It's gonna be revving it. Let's go ahead and fire this up. All right, guys, we're inside the 2019 Aston Martin Vantage. This is pretty insane, I have to admit. Unbelievable. The materials, the positioning of the seat. Let's get into what you get when you go Aston Martin Vantage. To the door panels, what's great is that they really brought in some color. You have some yellow with the contrast stitching there, carbon fiber near the armrests. Just the leather is so soft, and really I think it was smart to whoever optioned this one to bring in some color. You have the nice material on the dash, more of that contrast stitching. You do have some flat black, which kind of looks a little too cheap. I wish this was carbon fiber or brushed aluminum or something. So I am gonna zonk that. Here's your infotainment system screen. That is an 8-inch system. Obviously navigation is up. I hope you love buttons, because you're gonna love this thing. If you don't, it may give you a headache. As we come down, the sea of buttons. There's more buttons in this car than I've seen at a button factory. So you have your start-stop button here. neutral drive, reverse park. Then you're gonna have the plethora of buttons on both sides. And then you have, if this looks familiar, it's straight out of Mercedes-Benz. So not only the engine AMG, but also the iDrive controller, the mouse pad and everything. If you look on the screen, I'll show you some of the goodies. So we do have camera accessibility, obviously. Very nice to have that as you're driving your Vantage. You have your navigation that I showed you. And then when we get to home, I could show you the vehicle settings. So we kind of scroll across the top here. I hit vehicle. There's our Aston Martin Vantage, sexy looking car. Obviously dual climate control. You could go to your different settings within the actual vehicle, which is nice to have. Go through automatic mirror folding, locator lighting, automatic locking, exterior lighting, tow away alarm. Somebody's gonna tow your Aston Martin from you. That would bring tears to my eyes for sure. Carbon fiber, here's where they have the carbon fiber, nice dry weave carbon fiber. I like the little leather with the contrast stitching for your knees. So as you're doing a track day in this, whether you're the passenger or the driver, your knees are gonna be okay. Seat controls are all nicely positioned up high, but on the inside, rather than the door like on Mercedes-Benz products, you do have ventilated seats and heated seats. Here is your standard key fob from Aston Martin. That's your primary one. And then you have a backup one, but the backup one is not as fancy. So if you want the normal one, that's that. 2 cup holders, a ton of stitching, softer leather on the armrest. Open this up and they give you a book. They actually give you a book so you could read to your kids about the history of Aston Martin. So that's what you get in here. If you take out the book, you got enough room for 2 Twinkies, barely. USBs, 2 of them inside there, which is a nice touch, and a 12 volt. We put the book back. Like I said, read to your kids. It's always important to read to your kids. Seats, single back, love the look, the Vantage embroidery, the different colors really, like I said, bring an extra style and level of look and excitement. This being a 2-seater, that's all you got behind you is a little bit of a storage area, but I'll show you when we pop the hatch, you'll see that you could get groceries. You even have the nice perforated leather with the alcantara up top as well, which is a very nice touch. But why don't you get over to this business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of the Aston Martin Vantage. All right, guys, Aston Martin Vantage time on the business end. You can see how high the sill comes up. Bolstering is actually not too bad. You could daily drive this thing without a problem. You need to get the seat right though, because if you don't, you're gonna feel like you're kind of sunken in too far. You have a power, tilting, and telescoping steering wheel. I love the Aston Martin badge, very tasteful, flat gray around. The horn button, nice material, flat bottom steering wheel. This steering wheel looks like it's out of a Le Mans racer. You have your button on the left here to adjust the stiffness of your suspension. Massive paddles, and these things are metal, which they should be. They're attached to the steering column, so as you're doing your track day, you automatically know where they're gonna be. You don't have to chase it around the wheel. On this side, you're gonna have your mode selector button, and I'll have Tom show you the dash. Tack right in the center. I have it on Sport Plus. This is track, and then you keep hitting it. Now we're just in Sport. So you have 3 different modes to toggle through. Really love the clearness, the crispness. Over on the left, you're gonna have your coolant temp. You're gonna have your fuel gauge, everything nicely laid out. That's the nice thing about being behind the wheel, is that it's mostly just wheel. You have your 2 important buttons up here. I like the way you don't have to go to the center console to adjust whether you want track or sport or whatever. Plus, I really am digging the leather and the stitch work even on the dash as well. One thing this is missing is a heads-up display. I would like a heads-up display, so that is a zonk, but let's go ahead. Let's check out the cargo area and see how you're gonna convince your significant other that you need a Vantage. All right, guys, if you need some extra ammo to convince your significant other that you need one of these, here's where it's gonna be at. So we lift this up. Look at the amount of storage here. This is smart. You could go get the groceries. You could go pick up some supplies if needed. This makes the Aston Martin actually quite usable as a daily driver. I do like this nice divider that is here that's also movable, where you could put items there as well, and you can see the backs of the seats, that yellow leather interior. Even the nice alcantara material on the inside of the security shade. Very, very nice high-end touch. You have your leather handle, but if you're ready, I'm definitely ready. let's take this Aston Martin for a spin.
All right, guys, we're in the Aston Martin Vantage. Let's do a little bit of an acceleration test on the highway. I have it in Sport Plus, on throttle, drops down, here we go. The sound, that twin turbo V8, that automatic transmission, very, very fast shifts, very fast shifts. We are gonna put this into full manual mode for sure once we get to our little fun road destination, but this thing has the growl, has the sound, has everything when it comes to a high performance vehicle by far. All right, guys, we're driving in the Vantage. One thing I've noticed right off the bat, this car is so easy to drive every single day. I just made a U-turn. It was harder in my Ford Focus RS that I used to have to make a U-turn than what happens in this Vantage. Let me talk about, since we're sitting at a light here, let me talk about the layout of the interior. Now, there's a ton of buttons, and I'm sure the owner's manual is about as thick as the Encyclopedia Britannica. Once you figure it out, though, it's not too bad. Even in the small amount of time that I've been in the car, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to understand it. I love the steering wheel, the size, the shape of it. The dash looks great. The paddles almost looks like I take one off and go surf with it. That's how large the paddles are to manually shift. Seats hold you very nice. They are a little firm, as to be expected. I mean, this is a sports car here. This is something that you could go do a track day in and turn some crazy times. Out the back window, you would think that it would be really, really bad visibility, but it's actually super clear. And the way that the side mirrors are extended off of the bodywork, off the door panel, it's actually really, really helpful to help you see around the flared out fenders. But I'm telling you, the interior is definitely very welcoming, and overall, I'm enjoying driving this just simply around town. I can't wait to find our little twisty area to take this down. Headroom, plenty of headroom, 6 feet tall. You can have your helmet on for your track day, autocross event. I mean, this thing is for somebody, obviously, that can swing the price tag, which brand new, these run about MSRP $180,000, $190,000. Definitely want to give LD a call because they want to find a forever home for this particular one, this 2019. But pulling away, real easy. Still have it just in automatic mode. Road noise, it's about medium level. I mean, those Pirelli P0s are pretty aggressive tires. And, you know, this isn't about having the most sound deadening material or the thickest glass. So you are getting some road noise, but very, very smooth. And you have that ability to adjust the suspension. Not only can you do engine and all those parameters, but also suspension as well with the adaptive dampers at all 4 corners. All right, guys, we're gonna do the little twisty bits, and we're going to use the paddles. You do have a gear indicator. It is very small, so I'm gonna zonk that. I wish this had a heads-up display, but I'm in 2nd gear on throttle. Here we go. Traction control fighting. Very fast shifts on the brakes. Those massive Brembos. Nicely done. Look at this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Here we go. A little bit of slide there just to square off the corner. Wow. The shifts are so lightning fast. It's like Zeus himself is sending a lightning bolt and getting the car to shift. That's how instantaneous it is. Unbelievable. All right, guys, another acceleration test. 1st gear this time on throttle. Here we go. The shifts are incredible. The speed, the sensation, great feedback coming from the brake pedal. Feels good. Let's see how tipping is. Nice, look at this. It's like it's part of my frontal lobe. I don't even have to think, it just does. Really, really nice. Super smooth. No body roll whatsoever. Feels phenomenal. And I'm telling you right now, if you're complaining about, oh, well, they got an AMG engine, it's not a real Aston Martin, I'll tell you, I think it was a smart move to do this blend, to put the British technology with the German technology, and you have one hell of a Euro surprise. This is like a Euro Twinkie, man, I'm eating right now, and I'm gobbling it up. That's how much I'm loving it. Yes, we're making a U-turn. because I want to take you back through that set of twisties real quick and show the fun and the ferocity of this thing. Here we go, second gear. On the brakes, downshift, look at this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Phenomenal. The front end grip is unbelievable. Feels great. Jeez. The sound of the exhaust, everything looks, feels, it's all there. And that's what makes this car an amazing car to drive. This is an enthusiast car times 1 million. It really, really is. Let's see how we do through a couple more bends here. On the brakes, downshift, third, into second. Really nice, look at this, really nice. Even over the bumps, she's handling great, feeling good. Wow. Thank you, Aston Martin, for making my dreams come true. This is the first time that we've ever driven an Aston Martin on Rady's Rides, so really, really special occasion, and I'm just glad to share with you. And thank you, LD, for giving us access to this phenomenal car. All right, guys, one more time for you. I know you love these cars. I definitely love these cars. Here we go, on throttle. On the brakes, downshift, nice. Second gear. On the brakes, decreasing radius, super smooth. Really nice, there we go. Feels good. Best part is, like I said, you can have it your way. You drive it normal, you have some fun, you could do it both ways and get the groceries. What more could you need? But we're gonna go ahead, wrap this one up, and get back to Reeves Subaru, so I'll see you in a split second.
All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day here at Reeves Subaru. I definitely got to thank LD, Jerry, Pissandro, the rest of the crew, getting us access to this lightly pre-owned 2019 Aston Martin Vantage. Is it a competitor against the Porsche, Corvettes, Ferraris, and everybody else? I would say heck yes. But if it's cars like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you are new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. I got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He's loving this British beauty, and I don't blame him. So Tom, thank you for your hard work and in sharing in the drooling over this car. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.